Today, we're going to be going over launching new planners training. Okay. So how to get our brand new planners off to a fast start. And I know some of you that I see on here were on the Wednesday call that I did about getting off to a fast start for our new planners. And it kind of, a lot of this information basically kind of is connected with that, right? Because when you're getting somebody off to a fast start, it's really, how do you get somebody from where they are to where they want to go? And a lot of our success is determined by our ability to launch brand new people and help them get out of the gates fast. You know, my mentor called it immediate action, right? Take immediate action, because the more results that people get, the more results that people get, right? I mean, it's like you start getting more results and it starts feeding in more activity, and it all kind of takes place by taking that first initial action steps, right? It's what we know for sure in this profession is that when we help brand new people start to take action and they start to talk to people and they start to share RIMAN with people, what happens is they get excited, right? And if they don't take action, they get nervous and they talk themselves out of it. So you really want to get good at getting people into action right away. So we're going to be talking about that today and training people on that. But I think the first thing I want to talk about more than anything is like, you know, where you are right now in life, whether good or bad or whatever, right? Maybe right now you're, you know, hitting home runs out of the ballpark, or maybe right now you're going through a challenging time financially and you're looking to get back on your feet. Your past doesn't have to equal your future, right? You know, and I'll just share with you a little bit about, you know, I was showing this on Wednesday to some people, is that this is what I looked like when I first got started in the profession, right? When I was 17 years old, when I got started, filled out my application and got in, I didn't say, hey, look, you know what? I'm 17 years old. I can't do it. My attitude was, if other people have done it, I'm going to find out what they did and I'm going to do what they did and I'm going to get what they got. I had no doubt. All I had to do was find out what everybody was doing that was working. Like, to me, it's like super simple. If somebody's doing something that's having results, if I duplicate what they do, I'm gonna get the same results. Like, common sense tells me that, you know, and when I got started in this profession, that's what I look like. And, you know, within a year, you know, the company that I was with, I became the #1 producer in the company, and the company, you know, they gave me an S-Class Mercedes-Benz to drive. Like, it was like wild to me, like going from where I was starting off at to having the success I did. And it all came down to fast start training. It literally all came down to faster, getting people out of the gates fast. And this information today that I'm going to be talking about is how to launch your people so they can get out to a fast start. How do we help somebody get out of the gates quick? How do we, you know, when we sponsor a brand new planner, what are the cheat codes to helping them get out of the gates and have success, right? So it all starts off with discovering their why. You know what I mean? Like, when you get a brand new planner started, and it's not just your level 1 recruits, right? As a leader, mainly as a team leader, it's like you get paid a substantial amount of income on your organization, right? And if you're not a team leader yet, or you're a team leader or higher, you got to realize in your open line organization, somebody gets started, you can make up to 28%, you know, on level 2 and beyond on whatever they sell or buy. I mean, that's a ridiculous sum of money, right? I mean, it's absolutely overwhelming how much money is available for you to dig deep and drive depth, right? So, you know, and maybe some of you right now, I know a lot of you right now aren't team leaders yet, but realize that, hey, that's where we're going, right? You know, make no mistake about it. If somebody's done it, then evidently we can do it, right? All we got to do is find out what they did and condense the time frame, cut out the nonsense, and just get after it. And we're going to have massive results. So step number 1 is discovering somebody's why. So the question is when somebody gets started, how much time are you spending discovering their why? Just think about it. How much time are you discovering their why? Is it something you just kind of brush over because you want to get them into action? Because what's going to get them into action is talking about what they want from this business and why they want to have it, right? So, you know, the prime example is if this is this decide, if you could basically measure your desires, right? Maybe you want to retire your parents, or you want to retire your husband, or you want to retire yourself, right? Or maybe you want to get your kids, you know, college fund, or grandkids college fund, or maybe you want to just think about the things that you'd like to get out of this business, right? Think about why do you want this business to work for you? Like, we could all measure these desires. Maybe you want to take better vacations, right? Maybe you want to be able to enjoy your life, right? Maybe you're at a job right now that's making you sick and you want to retire from that job. But we have these desires, right? But the challenge is not the size of our desires. The challenge is what? Is the size of our income, right? So if this represents the size of our desires, this represents the size of our income, okay? And what should naturally happen is what, right? What should naturally happen is that our income, right, should grow to match our dreams and desires. But what happens more times than not is what? We shrink our desires down, right? We start to settle for what, you know, for less. That's kind of the way that my mentor told me. You know, it's like a lot of people settle for less, right? They settle for less than what they want. They don't get the things in life that they want, because they're just out there saying, hey, look, you know what? I'm just gonna, I'd like to retire my husband, but you know what? He's pretty good at what he does. Or I'd love to retire my wife, but I mean, she's really good. So, and we start doing these types of, ridiculous things where we shrink our dreams. It's like, this is not a dress rehearsal, right? This isn't a scrimmage. This is our life. And the reality is that with this being our life, we've got to make sure no matter what, that we're doing what? Living our dreams. We don't want to look back with regret and say, man, we were in the right place, the right time, but we didn't take action. We didn't get after it. We didn't give it everything that we got. And then we look back with regret and say, man, we were there in the right place, the right time, but we didn't take action. You know what I mean? So I just want to really hammer more than anything of like how important it is to understand that what should happen is our income should grow to match our desires. But what most people do is they'll shrink those desires down, right? It's like you start settling for less than what you could have. And this is our life, man. It's not a dress rehearsal. So let's really go after everything that we want. So when we start people off, we've got to find out why they want what they want. It's that why that's going to drive them into action. If somebody's like, I'm going to retire my wife, and then you're like, why? And they're like, well, because I know that her job is making her sick, and I know that I would add years to her life if I could retire her. See, that's the why. The why you want the what you want. You got to really get in touch with that with your brand new people. So when somebody gets started on your team, we want to get really in touch with what they want out of this business. So if you were to rate yourself on a scale, let's say that you've got 10 people on your team, or you've got 3 people on your team. If you were to rate yourself on your ability to do that, how well do you think you're doing at that, right? And when you touch a heart, you always touch a heart before you ask for a hand. We've got to know what people want out of this business. And that's really the step number one. And, when you think about it, it's like, when you look at life, it's like, we don't want to be going to a job working for somebody else, making them become wealthy, right? Sometimes obviously we have to have a job to be able to, to be able to make things, make ends meet. But at the same time, you got to go to work on your dreams, right? So as you're building this business, it's going to take time. You're not going to become a director overnight. It might take you 3 years to become a director. It might take you 4 years to become a director. It might take you 1 year. Who knows, right? But don't ever compare yourself to somebody else. Why? Because somebody else's chapter is not your chapter, right? It's like wherever they are. And I can remember when I first got in, I would compare myself to people, right? I'd be like, oh my God, this person got started at the same time as me, and they're already reached this top position. And I would be like, what do I need to be doing, right? And I go, I just got to learn more and apply it. It's the application of knowledge. It's not the acquisition, right? People think a lot of times I need to acquire new information. You can acquire ideas and information all day long, but if you don't apply it, it's wasted. So it's like, would you rather, tickle your toes in the sand and enjoy your life, or sit in rush hour traffic, fighting traffic and punching a time card and those types of things? And I know that that's not the life that we all visualize, right? When we were kids, when we were like, man, I want to grow up and sit in rush hour traffic, right? So we want to realize that we've got to get in touch with what our why is, right? And we got to, more importantly, when people get started, we've got to get in touch with what their why is. So when somebody joins, how good are you doing, right? At getting their why? Really make sure you drill in on that, right? And orientation, we talk about it as step 1, but you really want to highlight that and get into the emotion, because this business is based upon emotion. It's not based upon logic, right? It's like, if you fact somebody to death, it's not really, So the step number 2 is helping them pick their pack. When somebody gets started, how good are you doing at helping them pick their pack? So when a brand new planner gets started on your team, we need to know, hey, we got to get this person started the right way, right? So we get in touch with them, we launch their business with them, we hammer their why, but then we get into picking their pack, right? So, I always explain to people, there's different packages available in every country, right? And the key is you want to understand that the bigger packs that are available that are over 1,000 SP are going to help people unlock their unilevel on day 1, right? For the first month. And understand that we've got to make sure they get their 10 active customers, or their 10, lifetime customers, not active customers, but their 10 accounts as well, right? Because if somebody gets a 1,000-point package, and you're like, boom, you're going to unlock your unilevel, you're going to get double the commissions on level 1, you're going to get paid on level 2, but you don't help them get their 10 customers, they're not going to earn that money, and they're going to be upset at you. So you have to make sure you understand, we've got to help them unlock their 10 lifetime customers as well. But if somebody's getting the smaller packs on your team, you're kind of setting them up to not win. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but it's true, because they're making less money. Like, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, right? When I get people started, I want to help them, and obviously we got to take care of Canada, right? But I want to help them make as much as they can, as fast as they can, right? So how we start will duplicate, okay? So why everybody wants to get started with at least 1,000-point set. So when you're getting people started, if somebody doesn't get 1,000-point set, okay, they don't get their 1,000 SP per starter set, they don't get their 10 lifetime customer accounts, they're going to earn 5% on level 1. But if they get their 10 lifetime accounts, they get 1,000-point set or higher on their first 10 accounts, and they get their 10 free accounts, Now they're going to get 10%. So when you get somebody started, do you want them making twice the same amount of money for doing the same work on whenever they recruit level 1 planners? And the answer is obvious, right? Of course. Number 2 is you got to get the products. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. But on your level 2 planners, right? If you get started with a 1,000-point set, you're going to get 5%. If somebody doesn't get a 1,000-point or higher set, they're only going to get 0%. So would you rather people get 0% or 5%? So you want to make sure that when you get people started, you're getting them started the right way. Because if somebody gets give an example, somebody gets a 1,000-point set and they recruit 5 people to get 1,000-point sets, that'll make them a senior manager, right? On that situation, they're going to get obviously the rebate, right? And then they're also going to do what? Right? They're going to get the rebate. They're also going to get $505 on the differentials 310 and unilevels 195 when you sponsor 5 planners, because you're going to hit manager after you've got 2. You got 1,000, you get 2, that's 3,000 your manager. So on those next 2 packages, you're going to earn more money. So you're going to earn 310 from the differential, you're going to earn 195 from the unilevel. And then on your level 2 planners, right, you're going to get basically what's going to happen is you're going to get $1,941 on your level 2 planners. So how you start is going to be, and how people start on your team is going to duplicate. So you want to realize that we're training people right from the beginning, right? So like the example that I always look at is, how many level 1 planners do you need to get started at the pack you get started at for you to become a senior manager, right? So like give an example. If you don't get a kit and you just get started, you're like, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to tell people about it. Well, that's noble, but the reality is that when you get people started without a set, like that's dangerous. You know what I mean? Because we know that the chance of them becoming successful is slim to none, and Slim just took off, right? Slim's not even here anymore. So it's like they're not going to make it happen, right? Because they got to recruit an infinite amount of people to do the same thing in order for them to rank up, right? Now, if they get a 300-point set, they only have to recruit 19 people. Well, 19 is definitely better than infinity, right? But if they get a 1,000-point set, boom, they only need 5. If they get a 1,500-point kit, guess what? They only need 3. If they get two 1,500-point kits, right, which is 3,000, they only need to recruit 1 person to do the same. Now, when I came in with 4 1,500-point kits, right? Because I'm a business, I think business, right? Like an average small business in America costs about $450,000, according to the Small Business Administration. So the typical small business is going to cost about $450,000. And it's like, if I was to open up a business, there's 0% chance I would make more money in that business than I would over here at RIMAN. You know what I mean? In the same amount of time. Because you're not even going to pull a profit. 84% of the businesses don't even pull a profit ever. They fell. So they basically, people lose 450,000. And out of the small percentage of the businesses that do win, guess what? They're only profiting 5%. Think about it. As a senior manager, what are you profiting? Right? You're getting 30% of all the customers that you refer to the company. Think about that. Chairman On basically made this plant, right? I mean, literally, dude made a plant. Found water inside of a lava volcano place. Like, what are we doing? We're not going to be able to do anything like that. This guy did it, right? He microfluidized the product, gave us the best product on the planet. But when you get a customer, here's what I want you to think about, and really listen to this and let this set in. You make more than Chairman On does, and he made this product. You understand? When you're a senior manager, you're making more money by promoting the product than the owner of the company does. You understand? Like, that's unheard of in business. Like, it's like you're making a fortune by promoting these products. And the cool thing is, it's willable to transferable business, a real business. So when I got started as a senior manager on day 1, right? Because you're going to get what happens is, if I get started, let's say I get 3,000 in personal SP, I'm going to earn 10% on that. And then I'm going to be a manager, right? And then from 3,000 to 6,000, I'm going to earn 20. But when I got started at 6,000, I got 20% because it was one transaction. So I ended up making, instead of 10%, 20%, I got 20% on the whole transaction. So when you start people off, I have no problem talking to people. And when I talk to people, telling them how to get in, because I know the people that get started with a 6,000-point set they're gonna duplicate the same thing. And they're people that get started are gonna get started with enough products. If I get started and I've got 1 product, I got 1 little bottle of cream. How many customers do you think I'm gonna get? Right? At first, I'm using the cream on myself. Lo and behold, you have a spouse. Now 2 people are sharing 1 little bottle of cream. And we got to change our face, and then we got to put it on other people's face. There's not enough product to go around. You need products in order to be successful. Okay. So make sure you understand, if somebody gets started with 6,000-point set, 6,000-point order, and a leapfrog past planner, they're going to get 20% on the whole transaction. So that's why I got 4 sets as well, because it's smart business. Now, when people get started on your team, how much time are you spending teaching them NC Dart? Right? How much time are you spending with them, getting together with them and explaining to them what NC Dart is and helping them put together their warm market list? Right? When a new planner starts on your team, man, you really want to drive home NC Dart and have a memory jogger. right? You can just go to Google and type in memory jogger, and it'll be like, who do you know that's a hairstylist? Who do you know that's into cosmetics? Who do you, cosmetology? Who do you know that, like, who do you know that's a bus driver? Who do you know that, you know what I mean, is a teacher? Who do you know that's a nurse? Who do you know that's an accountant? Who do you know that's a bookkeeper? Like, who do you know? You can go to, there's memory joggers everywhere. And you go through a memory jogger with them until they get that list of 100. Like, spend the time, invest into your people. Invest the time into your people. Sit down with somebody and go through a memory jogger with them and have them set that 1,000. That's what I do. Like, I spend time with people because I'm building a relationship and I'm creating a culture. You're not just getting a new person started, you're creating a culture, an entire organization. I'm gonna say that again. You're not just getting a brand new planner started, you're creating a culture within an organization. You got to realize being a sponsor is a great responsibility. It should be called responsibility. Responsibility, right? It's got sponsors and responsibility. Like, you got a responsibility when you sponsor somebody to set them up for success. So how much time are you spending on NC Dart? Or you're just saying, are you just trying to get automated? Like, I love the people like, you automate your business. And I'm like, literally, I look at people like they ate a bottle of stupid pills. Like, some stuff can be automated, I understand. But like, automating a relationship, like, I'm glad I'm not your kid. Can you imagine that person's kid? Somebody's like, automate your downline, automate your training system. Like, okay, that's how you build relationships, is you automate it? That's what you do? Is that what you do with your kids too? Is that how you build a relationship with your kids? You automate it? Is that how, like, how long have you been married for? You know what I mean? It's like, is that how you do you automate your relationship with your spouse? We're creating a lifetime relationship with somebody and we sponsor them. Do you think we should invest time with them? You better believe it, right? So I spend a lot of time with people getting them started and helping them make that list. Because if they don't make that list, they're not going to have any posture when they reach out to people. And people, some of you aren't doing this. And it's like, shame on you. You got to help people. You got to care about people. You can't just be like, well, they're on the orientation, they say make a list. It's like, what? Like, no, you sit down with somebody, you pull out a memory jogger and you go through a list of 100 with them and make sure they get at least a list of 100 of people to talk to. And then we NC Dart these people, meaning that we look at the people and say, and I'll put it in next to the name of the people that are networkers and tell me about them. And they'll be like, oh, my friend Janet, she used to sell Herbalife, or she used to sell Mary Kay back in the days. You're just like, tell me more about Mary. Oh, well, you know, she lives down the street. You're like, dang, dude, I like her already. Like, this person sounds perfect. Like, this is, then you're like, who are your networkers, right? Who that's ever done anything like this or thinks outside of the box, right? You're trying to get their networkers from their list. Because people that have tried network marketing before, it's like, there's nothing like RIMAN. There'll never be another RIMAN, right? There's never going to be a company that grows to such great links to be able to create a product for you and I to promote. There's never going to be a company building 160,000 square foot smart farm, AI powered, that's going to grow the products. It's like in a controlled environment. I mean, there's not even a K-beauty company that does that, let alone a direct selling network marketing company. So find the networkers on the list. And we want to reach out to them first, okay? Because somebody else is going to reach out to them if you don't, okay? Now, credibility. Who do you know that's got a lot of credibility? Why the doctors and professionals love is because the efficacy of the product. So talk, and then they'll be like, oh, my doctor, and you're like, perfect. Like, tell me more about your doctor. Tell me more about this person. Or my buddy, my neighbor's a doctor. Like, tell me about your neighbor. Oh my God, this guy sounds perfect, right? You know? So most of the time, people that are doctors, they want to have a second stream of income, right? So they'll own a med spa, right? They'll own a different type of business to be able to have a second stream of income. So when they look at our opportunity, it jumps on them because they're like, I want to get involved with a great product that I can promote to my network because I've got a ton of credibility. And every time people buy it, boom, right? I'm making it happen. Now, desire. Who do you know that has a burning desire for a better quality of life? And they'll be telling me, oh my God, so-and-so, this person is unbelievable. And you're like, this is amazing. I love this person. This person's going to do great. I can't wait to talk to them. And you're getting them excited about their own list they just made. Do you guys follow what we're doing here? When people make a list, you get them excited about that list. You see how important this is? Can you imagine what of an impact this would have in your business? Right? As opposed to just here, I'm going to send you a recording of an orientation training on YouTube. It's like, what are you doing? Like, are you seriously building a relationship that way? Like, no, we want to show these people how much we care about them. When I get a brand new person, I'll be driving across, like to LA to meet with a brand new person, right? Driving to Vegas to meet with a brand new person, driving to San Diego to meet with brand new people. Like, I'll drive all over the country, whatever it takes, jump on an airplane. So you want to realize that you want to sit down with these people. Now, if they obviously are you're sponsoring people outside of your market, you're going to have to do it over Zoom, but carve out some time to really forge that relationship and help them develop their list. And NC Dart, N stands for networkers, C stands for credibility, D stands for desire, A stands for attitude, right? We want people with a positive attitude. Who do you know like that? And they're like, oh my God, this person's always fun to be around. They're the life of the party. Everybody loves them. Tell me more about them. They sound perfect, right? Like that's the people that you want to talk to with them. Resources, people that they know that have the resources, right? You know, mainly if you get somebody started with a 300-point package, you need to find out who their people are with resources that can get started with a 1,000-point package, right? And you need to recruit up, you know what I mean? Recruit up and find better quality people from them, right? And then obviously teachable, right? You're looking for people that have a teachability factor to them, right? You're not looking for people that are the know-it-alls, right? Know-it-alls means that they're basically, you know, they're once you're red, you're rotten. You know what I mean? Once you're red, you're rotten. When you stay green, you're growing. You're looking for people that have that teachable, coachable, wanting to learn. And they're like, oh my God, this person I know just loves to learn. You're like, boom, perfect. Tell me about them. And they're like, oh, da, 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 da. You're like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's how you do it when you're sitting down with somebody and you're making their list with them. And you're basically, you got your memory jogger out. You're going through and asking them who are their NC darts. And then they're telling you, and then you're like, oh my God, that person sounds perfect. I can't wait to meet them. That's how you're launching these people, right? You're giving them confidence. You're injecting people with confidence. You guys see what you're doing? Okay. So obviously we all know posture comes from having your list, right? It's like the guy that sells the hot dogs at the Lakers game. I love giving this example because the dude with the bacon wrap hot dogs outside of the Lakers game. If you go to him and you're like, hey, let me get a bacon wrap hot dog. And he's like, well, let me check. Oh my God, I don't have any buns. You'd be like, what? What are you doing out here, bro? But that guy knows how many buns he has. That inventory is your list. Like when a brand new planner gets started, their list is their inventory. And when you when somebody started and you help them make a list of 100, you're doing what we call work your people's people. Right? You make a list of 100. Obviously, we've all got our list of 100. We're all leaders, right? We're on a Friday night call, Saturday morning call if you're in Asia. And then guess what? When you get somebody started, now they have a list of 100. Now you just got 200 people. Now, you're not going to take their list from them. You understand what I'm saying? But now you're working your people's people. Now their list, now you just doubled. Yeah, you got to contact, you got 200 people that we've got to go talk to now. You guys see that? And then they get people started and they help them make a list of 100. Now you got 300 people, right? That we got to go talk to. So there's never, it's really easy to talk to people. People always ask me like, dude, you're always talking to people. Like my kids are like my son will leave in the morning for school and he'll come back late at night and I'm still, he's like, have you moved from your computer? You're just sitting here just talking to people all day long. He's like, how do you know so many people? It's not, when I get brand new people started, I help them make a list of 100. So I'm work your people's people. You'll never run out of contacts. You'll never run out of people on the, you know what I mean? There's no shortage of people. It's not like, oh, we're running out of people, dude. Like there's people being born right now. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people being born. How many people are being born right now? Like so many more than we're talking to. So just realize that there's an unlimited inventory of people to talk to about RIMAN. But if you're not getting people to make a list, you're not tapping into that warm market, right? And so the inventory is people's list. And whenever you help somebody get started, that's like, they got an inventory. Now you doubled your inventory, right? So your list, because if you have a list of 10 names and somebody says no, what happens? You got 10 names, somebody says no, you're like, I just lost 10% of my inventory. It's gone. But if you have a list of 100 people and somebody says no, now you've only lost 1% of your inventory. Would you understand the difference? And if somebody doesn't even have a list, it's like they're not even going to call anybody anyways, right? So you've got to make sure, number one, you have your list so you can show your people your list, but your list is always growing. If somebody says no, you're getting referrals from them because everybody knows. Some of my top people that I've ever sponsored in this business have came through, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Even in RIMAN, I've got 2 senior directors that were referred to me by somebody else, right? 2 in one group, right? This person's, they referred me a senior director, bam, blew it up, right? And then I'm like, and I put a spot in for them. Then I go, hey, you got anybody else? They're like, yeah, I got another one. If they referred me somebody else, boom, got it. Can you imagine 2 senior director legs referred by one person, right? That organization does like 2 million in volume. One person referred me. They've actually now referred me 3. So that got them to senior director too. So it's like, when you're working your people's people, you're basically what you're doing is you're guaranteeing your success. So your list is always growing. Get referrals from people nonstop. So now we're showing everybody RIMAN, right? Somebody's got their list. Now we're going to go teaching people that this is not like, we're not going to call these people to see if they're interested. Okay. Because they're not going to be interested until they find out what we're doing. Like nobody's going to be interested in RIMAN until they hear about it. Right. I mean, some people might be, they're just like interested in anything, but you're looking for people that are not really looking, right? You're not looking, you're looking for lookers, but you're also looking for people that aren't looking. You understand? Because sometimes what happens is they stumble across this opportunity and they're like, wait a second, in the back of my brain a couple of days ago, I was thinking about an opportunity, right? So, we want to reach out to everybody and we're showing everybody RIMAN. So this is how I got good at inviting. Okay. It was so basic. They taught me this and it exploded my business. These are the 4 tips on inviting. And I think you're going to love this. Okay. This is it. Be very urgent. Okay. That's a mindset. And then trust me, whatever you got going on, cancel it. I'm not taking no for an answer. So if I'm bringing somebody out, let's say to the Monday night event in Irvine, right? Or I'm sitting, bringing people to a pop-up or whatever. Trust me, I'm going to call somebody and be like, trust me, whatever you got going on Tuesday night, cancel it. Man, you got to get over to my house. I'm not taking no for an answer. And they're like, whoa, what's going on, right? They've never heard me talk like that before. Now they're interested, right? So when you're very urgent, it creates excitement and action. When you say, trust me, it lets them know that you care about them. Whatever you got going on, cancel. That lets them know that this is very important and creates curiosity. If they're like, I got work, and you're like, just calling sick, you got to be there. They're not going to call in sick. You understand what I'm saying? But they're gonna want to know what the heck is going on. Do you guys see that? So you're qualifying everybody. I'm not taking no for an answer. This lets them know that you've got confidence, and obviously that you're going to make sure that they win too, right? So they're seeing that you're coming across strong. I just came across strong at people, and people were like, dang, this guy's serious. So we're sort, don't sell. The prime example of this, right? I love to tell people, new people this: Piglet, Eeyore, Tigger, right? If somebody recruited you, obviously Tigger will get you fired up, right? But if Piglet called you acting like Tigger, you would freak out. You'd be like, oh my God, what's going on? So a reserved person being outgoing is more powerful than an outgoing person being outgoing. If you're not an outgoing person and saying what I just told you, whatever you got going on, cancel, that's challenging for you. Guess what? You're actually it's going to be more powerful if you're more quiet and reserved and you don't come across that way. Okay. Because when you come across Piglet comes across acting like Tigger, people are like, whoa, what's going on? So realize a reserved person being outgoing is more powerful than an outgoing person being outgoing. Okay. Because they're just being themselves. So you want to be like, if you're Eeyore and you're always negative, like you probably didn't get started in RIMAN, right? But if you know what I mean, if you're always sad and complaining about stuff, stop that. Like we're not going to be that anymore. We're going to be excited about our future. And when people call us, they're going to be excited too, because we're going to be contagious, right? Energy is caught, right? Not taught. Okay. That's why it's so important to get on these calls. Number 5, promoting the events and obviously the system. You understand, like it's about growing your people. So when I talk to people, like I was at the office earlier today, dropping off some stuff, I was telling the girl that was there, I said, man, I can't wait. Tonight's call is going to be awesome, man. We got so much. I'm so excited about tonight's call. We're going to be talking about launching people. You're going to love it. So it's like, you always want to be promoting events, right? You always want to be promoting events. Learning BAM FAM, right? Book a meeting from a meeting, right? Learning to BAM FAM, book a meeting from a meeting. We'll move runners from home and not leave them stuck on base. So it's like, when you think about like baseball, you pique somebody's interest, right? Maybe it's a K-pop, right? Or get them to a K-pop up, or you get them to a sit down at a Starbucks, right? And you're doing basically a one-on-one at a coffee shop. And you're showing them the products, or you're going over to their house. It doesn't matter. I'm getting these products on people. That's my mindset. And I'm piquing their interest. Now I've got to get them to something else, whether it be like maybe an opportunity Zoom, maybe a 3-way phone call with my sponsor, maybe getting them on an orientation, maybe getting them to another product demo, getting them to a pop-up, maybe getting them on a connection call with my leader, or getting them to an orientation, but whatever, I'm moving them around the bases, right? You want to always be having another exposure to get people more excited. So always book a meeting from a meeting. It should never be a situation where you get done talking to somebody and you're like, all right, I'll reach out to you. I'm always promoting something, right? I'm always promoting the next event. So it's kind of like building. It's like there's 2 types of people: the telephone game builders and the people that promote the system, right? If you're playing the telephone game and you're telling people, and then you're having them teach people, and then they're teaching people, that is getting watered down. But if you've got the system promoting everybody 100% the information, guess what's happening? You're promoting the RIMAN system, the orientations, the pop-ups, the overviews, the conventions. The convention's the mothership, right? That's the mother of them all, right? That's the son of the universe, right? That's what everything revolves around, is the convention. So you're promoting these things to your brand new people. So I give an example. Let's just say that we got an event coming up, right? Let's say you have 5 planners on your team, okay? How many of those 5 people do you want to attend the event, okay? Now, do you want them to pay attention at the event, or do you want them to be, you know what I mean, not paying attention? It could be this, it could be a Tuesday, it could be the Tuesday orientation, whatever we're promoting. But what I'm telling you is, do you want them paying attention on that overview, or do you want them walking their dog or whatever, right? Mowing the lawn while they're listening, right? So, what happens if they attend the training? Think about that. What happens if they don't attend the training? If they attend the training, they're thinking about RIMAN. If they don't attend the training, they're not, right? And then how do you get them to attend? You've got to reach out to them and promote, right? It's called promoting. So what is promoting? When there's an upcoming event, you want to personally reach out to your team to get them committed that they're going to attend. Phone call, FaceTime, voice note, personalized text message. Personalized text message is like the least effective of all of those, because they can't feel your excitement. But you want, what will happen is they're going to feel important, right? You want to let them, you want them to know that you care, and they'll know that the event is important, right? And what you're doing is you're establishing the right culture in your organization. And a phone call, FaceTime, voice note, they can feel your energy. That's why those ones are so much more powerful, and why you're fired up about it. Now, if you're just posting and praying, let's say that you're like, all right, you just joined, I'm going to add you to this group, and you understand, we're going to post stuff in there. People aren't going to feel important, right? you got to make people feel special. So when there's an upcoming event, you don't want to just post and pray your team attends, right? You got to notify people. But when you hear about a training that's coming and you hear about the schedule, you've got to be promoting it daily to everybody on your team, right? Because if you don't, what will happen is if you don't send a voice note or you don't send a personalized text message or you don't share why you're fired up, they're not going to feel special. They're not going to know you care. They're not going to know how important it is. You're not going to establish right culture organization. They're not going to be able to feel your energy, right? Energy, excitement, man. That's what we want to be conveying when we're promoting. So when a new person starts, we want to get them committed to the convention ASAP. So every time they hear about the convention, they're more fired up. So like my daughter, for instance, she used to be big into Justin Bieber when he first came out. This is back when she was like in elementary or middle school or something like that, elementary or middle school. This is like 12 years ago, whatever. I don't know how, a long time ago. But my wife bought my daughter tickets for her birthday. My daughter's birthday's in January. The performance or the Justin Bieber concert was in San Diego in August. So every time a Justin Bieber song came on from January to August, what do you think happened to my daughter? Because we got the tickets first minute. So you want to get tickets first minute for the convention, and you want to make sure your team buys tickets first minute, right? You want to get tickets and then get them out to your people ASAP, right? You want to start building, okay? Because every time they hear about the convention, they're going to get fired up, right? Every conference call, every Zoom that we do, we start off with the convention highlight. So they're brand new. They're seeing that. They're like, oh my God, I already got a convention ticket. That's how you want to promote, right? Because there's 2 events a year. Every time we sign somebody up, we're getting them to the event, getting them to the event, getting them to the event right when they join. So somebody joins on March 1st. What do you think I'm doing? Getting them committed to the next convention in September right away. I'm not waiting, right? Because if I get them committed and fired up about it, now they're visualizing themselves going to be around in 8 months, and I know I've got them committed and I can develop them, right? So if this is RIMAN right here, guess what? This is the convention. The convention is what's going to drive the momentum, okay? So let me give you an example. When you get your team to attend a convention, they're going to make a decision to get committed to success, right? So in between the conventions, they're going to grow through the process. That's how we develop people. But the place where they make their true decisions is at the conventions. So at the conventions is what you want to be promoting. We got the Macau convention coming up for you guys in Asia. You got to be promoting that right now like never before. Sitting down, talking to people, getting them their airplane tickets booked, getting hotels, getting all that stuff booked, right? Helping them get dialed in. It's kind of like the game that there's a video, like the outrun game, right? When people get to the checkpoint, they get a time extension, checkpoint, time extension, checkpoint, time extension. You've got to get your team to the event. That's how you're going to grow your people. It's all about action, right? It's about raising and transferring your belief, okay? Bottom line is this, right? Love the products. Everybody loves the RIMAN products, right? You share your enthusiasm, you transfer your emotion. Best, guess what? You get new customers. Now, if you want to get more customers, what do you got to do? You got to love the products more, right? What do I do, right? If I need to get more customers, if there ever is a month where I'm like, I didn't get my 1,000 in personal SP, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put more product on my face, right? I'm going to use more products. Why? Because that's going to get me more customers. Do you understand? It's like, damn, I need to start using more product. So more people are like, what's going on with your face, man? You're looking great. You understand? So I can get more customers. The more you love the product, you transfer that emotion, you share that enthusiasm, you're going to get new customers. Same with the opportunity, right? You love the opportunity, you share that enthusiasm, you transfer that emotion, and guess what? Bam, you're going to get new planners started, right? If you need to get new planners started more, you got to get more jacked and excited about the opportunity, more fired up about the opportunity, right? And if you love the conventions and you love the events and you share that enthusiasm, and you transfer that emotion, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get people to the convention. If you don't have a lot of people coming to the convention, then guess what? Fall more in love with the convention. Take an entire journal full of notes. You're going to come out of there where you're like on fire, like literally on fire coming out of the event. So fall more in love with the event. If you don't have a lot of people coming to this convention, go to the event and take as many notes as possible. Raise your excitement and passion and love for the event. You're going to come out of there on fire and you're going to be contagious. You're going to be contagious, right? Contagious excitement. It's unbelievable. So always remember, people are going to be afraid not to join you if they know that you know where you're going, right? People are going to be afraid not to join you when they know that you know where you're going, right? Everybody knows confidence is contagious, but so is lack of confidence. People don't care where you are, right? They don't care where you are right now. So don't think once you become a director, people are going to start following you. They don't care where you are. They care where you're going, right? When we got started, I started as a senior manager, right? It's like, boom, I'm going team leader. I'm going director. I'm going I'm going to hit all these positions, right? Overcoming objections doesn't stop once you get people started in RIMAN. You're always overcoming objections, and realize you got to be a tour guide, right? Not a travel agent. Take people by the hand and show them how to make a list, right? Show them how to invite. Be there with them for their pop-up, right? Confidence is going after Moby Dick in a rowboat and taking the tartar sauce with you. That's one of my favorite quotes of all time. That's what confidence is. So let's talk